Hi, my name is Tina Kotek.
My name is Will Rollins.
I'm Representative Daniel Hernandez.
My name is Christian Manuel Hayes.
I'm California Insurance Commissioner Ricardo Lara.
My name is Jared Polis, and I'm running for re-election as governor of the great state of Colorado.
I'm Sean Malloy, and I'm running to represent Pennsylvania's 17th district in Congress.
I'm Jolanda Jones, and I'm a proud Victory Fund Spotlight candidate where I'm running for the Texas House of Representatives.
I'm Representative Chris Pappas, and I'm proud to be a Victory Fund Game Changer candidate running for re-election in New Hampshire's 1st District.
My name is Becca Ballant, and I'm running to represent Vermont in Congress. With your support, I will shatter expectations in November and become the first LGBTQ person and the first woman ever to represent Vermont in Congress.
I'm State Representative Michelle Rayner-Goolsby, and I'm running to represent Florida's 13th District in Congress. With your help, we'll shatter expectations in November, and I'll become the first Black queer woman elected to Congress in all of U.S. history.
With your support, we'll win this tough re-election fight and keep building a Colorado where everyone can thrive, no matter who you are or who you love.
With your support, we'll shatter expectations, and I will fight in the House for voting rights reform, criminal justice reform, and for the state of Texas to keep their hands off of my world.
This year, we will shatter expectations when Oregon voters elect me as their next governor.
When I win this campaign, I'll be one of the first Black LGBTQ lawmakers in Texas history.
With your help and the help of the Victory Fund, Pennsylvania is going to become the first state in the United States to elect an openly LGBTQ lieutenant governor. And I'm going to spend every day of the next 4 years fighting for equality, because that's what we do at the Victory Fund, and it's our legacy.
Please welcome to the stage the first out LGBTQ person ever elected Attorney General and our candidate for Governor of Massachusetts, Attorney General Maura Healey.
Wow, it is so beautiful to see all of you. This room, 600 people strong. It's amazing. Victory Fund sure knows how to throw a party, don't they? Because there are some people still back getting additional libations. I know that's the good feeling in this room. That is the celebration in this room. And haven't we seen so much to celebrate already? Are you guys excited? You should be. You should be celebrating. It has been a hell of a few years, right? We survived one trying time in this country. The vestiges of that destruction persist. COVID, right, and all that it has wrought. But I'll tell you what, I have never felt more optimistic. I have never felt more enthusiastic. I have never felt greater possibility than I do in this moment right now because of the energy in this room. So I want to thank Mayor Anise Parker and the amazing team at Victory for all of your support, for all of us LGBTQ plus, forgive me, candidates up and down the ballot. You know, I'm Maura Healey. I'm running to be the governor of Provincetown. And I'm going to tell you a little something about how this began for me, okay? 8 years ago, in the very, very cold 11-degree temperature, I got myself on a plane with a friend and headed for Denver to meet the wonderful friends at Victory. You see, at the time, I'd been in the Attorney General's office. I was a civil rights chief. I'd done some good stuff. I brought the case that first defeated DOMA, all that. But I'd never run for office. I'd never run for office, like any office. And so my first move was to reach out and meet the wonderful friends at Victory. And I was in a contested primary against a well-established state legislator with a ton of support. Now, most organizations, if they weren't with him, were staying out. But not Victory. Not Victory. Victory was my first endorsement. It was pre-primary, and it was huge. And later on, I became the country's first openly gay attorney general in history. Thank you, Victory. That's why I'm here. You see, that's what Victory does, and that's what you all enable and support. So don't stop giving, even though the clock just stopped. Because look at what it's about. It's about taking a chance on first-time candidates like me, early and with support. That says a lot about the Victory Fund, and it says a lot about all of you, and I am here today to say thank you. I'm also here to say today that I'm hoping to break another barrier by becoming the first woman ever elected governor in Massachusetts and becoming one of 2 lesbian governors elected in our country's history. Tina and I are going to take care of the coast, right? We're going to take care of the coast, and then we're all going to work together across this country. Now, I grew up in a small town. I grew up in a really small town, and after my parents separated when I was about 10, my mom raised my brothers and sisters, there were 5 of us, I'm the oldest, alone for a good number of years. And she did 2 things that drive who I am to this very day. The first thing she did was sell her wedding ring and pave a half a basketball court out behind our house. Some of you know I went on to this career as a pro basketball player, obviously a point guard at 5'4", but she got us out there. She got us out there and got us taken care of and occupied. The other thing she did is she went back to work. And I remember as a little kid listening to her car pull out of the gravel driveway of our farmhouse, where she went down to take care of an older man, get him bathed and clean and fed before returning to make us breakfast, where then she would set out for her job as a school nurse. She taught us about caring for one another. She taught us about looking after for one another. She taught us about hard work. The second greatest job I've ever had to be an attorney was not playing professional basketball. It was waitressing. And I waitressed my way through high school, college, and law school, including as a cocktail waitress at a music hall where I remember seeing the Indigo Girls and Melissa Etheridge, and I was not a good waitress that night because I think I was cluing into something about me. And I always loved sports. As I said, I played basketball. And does anyone know what a point guard is? Do we have any point guards in this audience? Okay. So point guards are the ones who want the ball in their hands. They want to run the show. They want to get all the players working together to make it happen. The greatest statistic for a point guard is the assist, not the points scored. And all of that point guard stuff is with me. It stays with me in how I lead. As Attorney General, I've been known for taking on powerful interests and fighting for the vulnerable, and along the way, trying to lift people up. When I was first elected, people came up to me, congratulated me, and said, now I think more is possible for me, or now I think more is possible for my child. And I have to say, it did not register until that moment. You see, I got into office thinking about the policies, thinking about the laws I'd enforce, thinking about the things I'd do. I didn't appreciate how much representation matters, how much seeing is believing, and the hope that that can give to a young person out there or to their family members who love them. I should have known that, because I remember when I came out, my own mom being terrified about my future, what it was going to mean for me. And I know those fears are reflected in the experiences of many. But I know that over the last 7 years, I have had the opportunity to go on and see some of those people I met when I first ran, young people, rise and do amazing things and achieve. And it makes my heart swell. It inspires me. And it makes me, especially against all of the attacks and indignities facing them today, to want to be a leader who confronts injustice wherever she sees it. And I know you do too. Now, right now, our LGBTQ plus young people are under attack. They're experiencing increased rates of anxiety, depression, suicidality. And why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? The isolation of COVID forced to watch the governors of Florida, Texas, and other states viciously target them and their families, talking about them like they're not even human. I am thinking a lot about that these days. I'm thinking a lot about what it is like for our young people to experience that, to hear politicians talk about them in that way, to say that there's something wrong with them. I want them to know that's not true. They are loved. They will be loved. I say that message in my state every single day, and I will be a governor who will fight for them, and I know you will join me in that. So I can think of no more powerful rejection of the hate that we are seeing across this country today than to support more leaders who are courageously and unapologetically LGBTQ+. Chev is absolutely right. It is time to flood the zone. And I am so proud that our young people all across this country have senators like Sarah McBride and Chev Jones to look up to. Isn't that amazing? And they see Karine Jean-Pierre in the spotlight representing the White House. This is why the work of the Victory Fund is so important. This is why it is so important that you all are doing what you are doing, because when we have more people in government who truly reflect the lived experience, the lives of the population that they are called upon to serve, we get better policies, we get better laws, we get better work done, and we get a more just and equitable world, and that gives me hope. So let's continue to set that example for all of our young people out there today, watching, wondering, some with great trepidation about our future. I know that we can work together to protect and advance policies that make sense, that are going to help all of us live happy, healthy, authentic lives. I'll tell you, as governor, I am going to invest in mental health to make sure that everyone has access to comprehensive, affordable, and inclusive care when they need it. We're going to fight for and expand gender-neutral markers to make sure that people's documents actually reflect their authentic selves. We're finally going to pass the Equality Act to make sure that no one can be discriminated against due to their sexual orientation or gender identity. And we will make sure that every child is able to play the sport they love, receive the gender-affirming care that they need, and access the accurate and inclusive education they deserve. This community is strong. Just remember, long before COVID, this community, with resilience and grace, endured the AIDS epidemic. Through history, endured the physical assaults, the daily marginalizations, to live to see the day where marriage equality is now the law on the land. We stand and are powered by those who've gone before us, trailblazers who preserved and made possible the freedoms that we enjoy today. And don't get me wrong, we have so much work to do, but we are not going back. Each step of the way, we're going to continue to stand for our community, we're going to continue to stand for equality, and we're going to continue to stand against the spineless, immoral politicians who I hope to be able to join someday in the National Governors Association meeting. And we're going to show them what it means to be a kid who is braver and stronger than they will ever be or could ever imagine. I know that we can do this together because we've seen what we've done together. Thank you, Victory Fund, for doubling, tripling, quadrupling the numbers of people running out there. So much more is possible in our country as a result. Keep going, keep giving money, and keep lifting all of us up. Thank you, Victory Fund.